Trailcast trivia. Alright, so I've got 18 questions here for Wesley. Now, some of them have been posted on Instagram and on our YouTube community page, so if you've been keeping up with those, you might have already seen some of these questions. But those were mostly the easy ones. So if you thought those were too easy, well, I've got some hard ones. Alright, so without further ado, let's do further and jump right in.
Let's do this.
Alright, so
You get a lot of these wrong.
Alright, so, well, first question was actually one that was posted on Instagram and YouTube, and 100% of people answered it correctly. So, if you get this question wrong, you are an idiot. Alright.
I answered it correctly on Instagram, too. Or not Instagram, on YouTube, so if I do get it wrong, I am an idiot.
Alright, so...
It's a wampa.
Question number 1. What is the name of the monstrous creature kept in the pit below Jabba the Hutt's palace, which Luke Skywalker battles during his rescue mission? Is it A. Rancor, B. Wampa, C. Tauntaun, or D. Sarlacc? I'm going to give you about 20 seconds here to answer it, because I know this is a hard question, so...
So I do want to mention this fact, though, because you made this comment. Now, obviously, you could just be saying it strictly to me, because I'm supposed to be, like, pretty knowledgeable when it comes to Star Wars. I have, spent most of my life, aware life, watching and doing stuff Star Wars related. But you just said that if I got this wrong, I was an idiot. So does that mean that, like, you're basically saying anyone who doesn't know this specific question's answer is an idiot? Or is it specifically just me?
Just you.
Just me. Okay. I don't want to alienate our non-Star Wars audience.
Let me rephrase this too. So, for people who are Star Wars fans, this is common knowledge. Like,
it's definitely a wampa.
Is that your final answer?
No, it's a Rancor.
Alright, yeah, the Rancor is correct. But yeah, like I said, like, for people who aren't Star Wars fans, you might not know that. But if you've seen, like, C-3PO says it in the movie. So, if you've seen Return of the Jedi more than a couple of times, you're gonna know what it's called.
Mm-hmm. Ready for the next one?
Yes. All right. So now this one should be another easy one. So number 2, name the 4 actors responsible for the portrayal of Darth Vader / Anakin Skywalker in The Return of the Jedi. Is it A. David Prowse, Sebastian Stan, James Earl Jones, and Hayden Christensen? B. David Prowse, Sebastian Shaw, James Earl Jones, and Hayden Christensen? C. Peter Mayhew, Sebastian Stan, James Earl Jones, and Hayden Christensen? Or D. Peter Mayhew, Anthony Daniels, Morgan Freeman, and Matt Lanter?
Okay, so I'm assuming that this is obviously you saying this after the after the edit, because Hayden Christensen is the only is with the options with it. Sebastian Shaw was, unless I'm getting the Sebastian wrong, is which would probably put my answer at B. But what I'm gonna get at here is, so you're not including the guy who plays him as a stunt actor. You're just including.
In this question, I'm not including the stunt actor. That is correct.
Okay. So with that, unless my last name is wrong, which I'm putting as my answer. I'm pretty sure Sebastian Shaw is gonna be Stan, isn't it? B is my final answer.
That is correct. David Prowse, Sebastian Shaw, James Earl Jones, and Hayden Christensen are the 4 actors responsible for the portrayal of Anakin Skywalker.
Peter Mayhew. Who is that?
So, Alright, so...
the name.
Alright, so Sebastian Stan is Bucky Barnes in the MCU. I put that in there because of the similar name. Peter Mayhew played Chewbacca,
Okay.
and of course Anthony Daniels is C-3PO, and for no points whatsoever, but a bonus question: do you know who Matt Lanter is?
I know the name. I can't think of who that is though, or what he does. Or
He played Anakin in the Clone Wars, or I should say, voiced.
oh, yes. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Morgan Freeman, just because I thought of a black guy with a big powerful voice, and Morgan Freeman, James Earl Jones,
Um, who did do the stunt for him for Vader?
um, the stunt actor for okay, David Prowse had two stunt actors during the original trilogy. I think this was Bob Anderson.
Okay. Who's the other guy? Do you know?
Uh, I think it was Scott. No, not Scott Lawrence.
Isn't Scott Lawrence one of like the writers? I
No,
feel like I know that name with like
but
Lawrence Kasdan.
I forget the name of the other stunt actor off the top of my head. But yeah,
Okay, that's
there were
fine.
two stunt actors. So, yeah. Anyway,
All right.
um, yeah. On to question 3. So, what is the name of the Ewok tribe's chief from Return of the Jedi? Is it A. Wicket, B. Chirpa, C. Nisa, or D. Tebow?
I'm gonna go ahead and say I don't know this one.
Yeah, it's a curveball.
Um, so my educated guess is Chirpa.
Is that your final
As
answer?
I'm right now. I'm split between Chirpa and Nisa, and I know that the one I pick's gonna be wrong, and the other one's probably gonna be right, unless it's. I know it's not Wicket. I know who Wicket is, but I'm gonna go with B Chirpa
That is
as an
correct.
educated guess.
That is correct.
Cool.
Chief Chirpa.
I was trying to think back to my Lego encyclopedia, Star Wars encyclopedia that I had with all the Lego characters. I think he's in there.
No, actually, the only two Ewoks in he might be in the Skywalker saga. I'm not sure, but the only in the Lego Star Wars 2 and the complete saga, the only two Ewoks are just Ewok and Wicket.
Oh, I thought I remembered seeing the chief, but maybe not. It's been a long time since
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that. Actually, I do not have the book
And
over here. I had the book over here earlier.
and so Wicket, Chirpa, Nisa, and Tebow are actually all names of Ewoks in Return of the Jedi,
None of which are mentioned.
except for Wicket. Well, actually, is Wicket even named? I don't in the movie. I don't even know.
Wicket's not. Wicket, I don't think is named because Ewok isn't even named in the movie.
It's true. Yeah.
I think that's all just from source material after it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I got that one off of a lucky guess. This one I don't even have a lucky guess.
All right.
The
So
next question.
yeah. Number 4. What is the name of the droid getting tortured in Jabba's palace? Is it A. EV-9D9, B. C-525, C. IG-88, or D. ID-8? Or 8D8, sorry.
This is the trash can drawer that gets flips upside down and gets his feet burned.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I know IG-88. I know what that droid is. That's not this one. That's one of the assassin droids. So I have the other ones. Now I'm gonna go with either A or B, just because I feel like those look more like droid serial numbers. And I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it's AEV9D9 because I just don't know.
That is correct. You are 4 for 4, and you've guessed on 2 of them. So, okay, so C525, I made up.
Okay.
That's not a real droid name. And 8D8 is the droid who was torturing EV-99.
See, 8D8 seemed like it could be made up. C5 25. The reason I didn't do that one was because I was like, I feel like C with C3PO. Like I'm not entirely sure how much the droids stay in line with like their numbering, but I felt like that wouldn't be a trash can droid
That would
delegation.
if
So I
that
was
if that was a real droid, it would probably be. I would assume it'd be a protocol droid. Just
yeah, because
yeah.
they have the silver protocol droid from Phantom Menace. That's a C. What's that one?
I forget what the actual designation
Uh
is, but yeah, I don't know which one, but yeah.
yeah. So that's kind of what I went with, but wow, I'm on a roll here with lucky guesses.
All right. Now, this next question was one that was also on Instagram and YouTube, and 63% of people got this one right.
I'm gonna be the one that got it wrong.
Yeah. So, question
I
number,
changed it, but I got it wrong
so
originally.
question number 5. When Return of the Jedi when was Return of the Jedi originally released in theaters? Is it A, May 20th, 1983, B, May the 4th, 1983, C, May 25th, 1983, or D, June 1st, 1983?
All right, for anyone who does not know the date right off the bat and has to take a minute to think about it, what I'm about to say will not spoil anything. So when I pulled this up on YouTube to see what we had and take the quizzes on it, I narrowed it down to May 20th and May 25th. So all the years are the same, but the dates are different. So I narrowed it down to those two dates. So I had a 50-50 shot in my mind of getting it right. I chose the wrong answer nonetheless, but I do know what the right answer is now.
And
And for those of you who are still waiting,
I will say
Ed,
I was like I was not nice in this question because I intentionally did answers that were very close together and that, like if I'd done different
mm-hmm,
years, it would have been obvious. But
yeah,
I did the same year and all within the span of a month. So, like I said,
yeah. Now, what I heard, so this movie came out exactly 6 years after A New Hope. Sounds right. What I heard, which I guess that means in 1977. My answer is the correct answer, but it's May 25th, 1983 is when it came out. And so I'd assume is that when New Hope came out?
I'm not sure. But, fun fact
Well, I'm
too.
going to look it up as you tell me that I'm right.
Yes, you are correct. It is May
And
25th, 1983.
A
But,
New Hope came out on May 25th,
okay.
1977.
But, one thing that is interesting in this question is so in 1983, May 4th, May 25th, and June 1st were all Wednesdays. So this movie came out on a Wednesday. May 20th was the Friday before, which I thought might get people if they looked back on the calendar.
Mm. If you're going to look back on a calendar, just look up the answer.
Yeah, but yeah, I really. Now you probably know this one. Question 6. So in Return of the Jedi, now okay, again this is another deep cut. I think Wesley knows this one, but
I answered it
this
before
is
we
a deep
started the
cut.
podcast.
Oh, you did? Okay. But anyway, so 6.
Yeah.
In Return of the Jedi, what is the name of the band that performs in Jabba's palace? Is it A. Dax Wubbadub and the Womp Rats? B. The Max Rebo Band? C. The Figrin Dan Band? Or D. The Gamorrean Quartet?
So, fun fact about this band, they do survive the events, the beginning events of Return of the Jedi, but they broke up not long after. So, sad. Um, I don't really have much more to say about all that. So, if anyone else is trying to think of the answer, go ahead and pause it because I'm about to say at least what my answer is. David may say I'm wrong, but it should be right. The Max Rebo Band is the answer that I am coming to a conclusion of.
That is correct. It is B, the Max Rebo Band. See, with the
What's that?
first,
6 for 6.
yeah, the first one, I think it's obvious, but I came up with the answer.
Wubba dub dub. Hey,
I was,
you added Womp Rats, so that's a Star Wars thing. So
but I was thinking like, I just trying to think of like band names, and I was like Dax Wubadub and the Womp Rats. I'm like, oh my gosh, that is, I have to put that in.
I'm just kind of sad that your brain came up with that.
And the sad thing is, that sounds like something George Lucas would come up with too.
Yeah, no, it does. It does. That's why it sounds Star Wars esque.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. So, question 7. Again, this is another one that was posted on social media, and 92% of people got it right. So you should get it right too. This one should be
Let's see
easy.
what's that.
All right. So, question number 7.
Yeah.
In The Return of the Jedi, who is the bounty hunter that Leia impersonates to rescue Han Solo? Is it A. Dengar, B. Aurra Singh, C. Bosk, or B, or not B, D, I'm losing it, D. Bausch.
So I did answer this one on there, and I did get it right. Specifically because I know who the majority of these bounty hunters are, which is I wonder why that might be what most people are going off of. Because I mean, it's not.
Yes, because I did use all real bounty hunters from Star Wars, and if you know Star Wars bounty
Yeah.
hunters, you'll be able to get it right.
Mhm. So, but before I went and answered this, I did come across it. Um, but I will say I didn't know it until today. But it's what'd you say? D was Bosch,
Bausch.
Bish, Bosch.
Bausch.
That's the
That's
bounty hunter
at
shoot.
least how I'm pronouncing it.
Bish.
Hmm.
That's my answer.
Yeah, B or D. Bausch. Yes, you're correct.
Because Dengar, correct me if I'm wrong, he's the one with the bandages. Aurora Singh is the one who has the sniper and the little ponytail, and Bosk is obviously everyone knows who Bosk is. So
Yes.
the green lizard guy.
Yes. So now, another one that should be relatively easy. I don't know if you're gonna get this one though, but it should be relatively easy. Just kind of more. This one's more about the movie, not necessarily in universe. But question number
Mhm.
8: Who directed Star Wars Episode 6: Return of the Jedi? Was it A. George Lucas, B. Steven Spielberg, C. Richard Marquand, or D. Irvin Kershner?
So I had interesting facts about this, but I don't want to say anything that would give the answer away. So I guess again, for anyone who's listening and trying to answer this right, go ahead and pause it because I'm going to say some things that will spoil the answer. So George Lucas did not direct this one. He wrote it, but he wanted to do what he did with Empire Strikes Back. He wanted to have someone else direct it. So his first choice for it was Steven Spielberg, but because of problems with the Directors Guild, where's my the computer just told me that it needed to be plugged in. So 1 second. All right. So due to problems with the Directors Guild, which George Lucas he had left and had problems with because of New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. Because at this point in time, you're supposed to put like all your credits, or you're supposed to put credits at the beginning of the movie. George Lucas said, "I'm not going to do that." So for New Hope, they let it slide. For Empire Strikes Back, they fined him. And I'm pretty sure. Never mind. But I don't remember who the director. If that's Ivan Kershner, if that's who the director of Empire, I don't remember if that's who it is. I know the name, but anyways, they almost fined the director for that too, but George took the brunt of it. So Spielberg couldn't direct Return of the Jedi due to those problems, and the only reason that I really know who the director of Return is because I hear his name is like, or last name is like, um, Mark Wan or something like that, and it's like Don Juan. So C is my answer.
Yes, it is C. Richard Marquand, or I think it's Mark One, but yeah, I don't think
I don't really care how it's pronounced, but from what
I
I
don't
heard, it
think
was
you
like
pronounce
that.
the
And it's
D,
like
but
Juan.
yeah, I don't know if you
Yeah,
pronounce the D or not, but yeah,
it's a
yeah,
fun name to say.
and
But didn't Irvin Kershner direct Empire?
yes, Irvin Kershner directed Empire.
Mhm.
So
He almost got fined for the problems that George was having with the Directors Guild, but he went ahead and took the brunt of it. And then he left the guild because he was just fed
mm,
up with it all. So
yeah,
that's why Steven Spielberg could not direct this movie.
yeah. So again, score update: you are 8 for 8.
It's gonna go downhill eventually.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta get at least 50%.
Well, there are 18 questions, so if you get one more right, you are at 50%.
Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if I'm gonna get the next one because
So
I'm kind of blanking on this.
all right, so question number 9. In Return of the Jedi, who is the X-Wing pilot who flies alongside the Millennium Falcon to destroy the second Death Star? Is it A. Wes Jansen, B. Biggs Darklighter, C. Wedge Antilles, or D. Jack Porkins?
I know well, I can't just jump right into that because we might have someone who's still listening at this point in time. We might have someone who cares enough to want to listen and guess these on their own. So I have. All right, I'm gonna start spoiling things, or at least my thought process. So if you don't want to have any input on this, go ahead and pause this. So, Legend Tilly's. I'm thinking that's Captain Antilles. I'm pretty sure that's his first name because I feel like there might be more than one Antilles, but I'm kind of ruling him out because I'm blanking on it. I'm pretty sure that Wedge Antilles is he's gonna be the right answer. I'm Captain Antilles. That's what I'm going with. Porkins. He's from the movie. He's that's not who it is. See, Biggs though. That one seems like it rings more of a bell, but Darklighter doesn't ring a bell. And then Wes Jansen's really just throwing me off. So I'm really kind of in a little bit of a not really sure what's going on here.
They are all
I have one.
They are all real X-Wing pilots from the original trilogy.
Yeah. Well, then I'm gonna go with Biggs because I know Biggs is a character. I think at this point in time, I just don't think I knew that that was his last name. So I'm gonna go with my final answer being B. Biggs Darklighter.
That is incorrect. It is
Mm.
C. Wedge Antilles.
So what's Captain Antilles' name in A New Hope?
I don't know if or I don't know his first name. I'm sure he has one. But I was about to say I don't know if he has one. I'm sure he has one. But I don't know what his first name is. But Wedge
Okay.
Antilles is a different character.
Yeah, I couldn't remember that.
And in fact,
Oh well.
Wedge Antilles, I believe, is one of the only pilots to appear in all 3 movies because he was in the mission to destroy the second Death Star. He was piloting one of the snow speeders on Hoth, and he was, of course, in this mission to blow up the second Death Star.
Yeah, I know the face, like, but that doesn't help me in this instance. Like, that doesn't help me with the name. So, oh well. That's what I said. I knew that if I discounted one character, I mean, obviously I knew it wasn't Porkins, but
well, I think
outside of that, I was like, if I discount a character,
I could be misremembering, but I think Porkins actually dies in A New Hope.
he does.
Yeah. So yeah. Question number 10. In Return of the Jedi, there is a significant character who appears in both the original theatrical release and the 1997 special edition. But a notable change was made in the 1997 version. Who is the character and what was the change made? Is it A, Jabba the Hutt? He was given a digital facial animation makeover to make his movements more expressive. Is it B, Boba Fett? His voice was redubbed by a different actor to match his voice in the prequel trilogy. Is it C, Admiral Akbar? His costume design was updated to make it more detailed and screen accurate. Or D, Lando Calrissian? his clothing color was altered from blue to green in the 1997 version?
This is another one of those things where, like we were talking about earlier, I can't remember all the stuff that happens in every single one of these special releases. Um, Positive if you want to think about this on your own. But obviously, it wouldn't be Boba Fett because they hadn't filmed the prequels yet. So that one's obviously out for it being, that they redubbed it to match the prequels. Because they didn't film. Well, they might have. They filmed it early, but
I think production had
Tom
started.
Morrison didn't start playing.
I think production had started on the Phantom Menace at this point.
They wouldn't have started on Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
Um. Oh. Um. It's very possible that it could be Jabba the Hutt, but like, because I know all the details that they had to go through with all the stuff with his character. The Lando Calrissian thing just seems like it's so small that George could have done it, you know. Same with Admiral Abar. Like, they update his let's see, his costume was updated to make him more detailed. I don't know. Just off of an educated guess, I'm gonna have to go with A. It was Jabba the Hutt to make him a little bit more animated. It's not that he looks like he's more animated in it, and I'm going to go ahead and say that it's probably going to be one of the smaller things from C or D. But just because I don't really have much reasoning for this, I'm just gonna go with A for Jabba the Hutt.
That is correct.
It didn't do a good job with it, I'll tell you that.
Okay, it was 90 CGI. What do you expect? But
It's fair.
But yes, it was facial animations for Jabba the Hutt. Yeah, all of these are like that. That was a very like hard question because like a lot of them are like so like such minor details no one would notice.
Well, I mean, even that one is such a you that's kind of what you said, but even that one's like that's such a minor detail that no one's really gonna notice it, you know, like. But that's just what George Lucas did. So,
all right. So you are now 9-1.
At least
so you have
gotten 50%.
You have gotten your 50%. But now we're moving on to more general Star Wars in general. We're moving away from Return of the Jedi. So for the next 8 questions, they're just gonna be Star Wars in general. Now, it's still going to be mostly focused on original trilogy. I don't think I have anything other than original trilogy here, but... Alright, so...
I know we talked about this next one.
Yeah, so...
Let's see if I remember it.
Question 11. In A New Hope, what is the name of the Imperial spy responsible for notifying the Empire of the droid's presence in Mos Eisley? Is it A, Thalos, B, Garandon, C, Jethrin, or D, Trunco?
I know we talked about this, but none of those names are ringing a bell. I know you also mentioned the fact that this was like the last credited role, or last thing John Wayne did. Maybe not credited, but last thing John Wayne did or whatever.
It wasn't credited, and technically he didn't do it because it was taken from it was a clip of a line he delivered in one of his movies that was run through a bunch of filters to get that sound effect. But it's still,
unless it was John Wayne.
But it's still technically the last thing the last role he had in a movie. Like if you go to Wikipedia, he's credited for this character, and that's his last credited role on Wikipedia.
Go ahead and pause it if you don't know this and you want to figure it out. My answer is going to be C because I'm just shooting a shot.
So your answer is C, Jethrin?
It looks the most correct. It doesn't sound correct.
That is incorrect.
Mm-hmm.
It is B, Garandon.
See, I thought that one might have been, but I was like, it just didn't fit right in my mind. So,
You didn't fall for my fake George Lucas name, D Trunco.
oh, I almost did. I was like, that sounds like it could be one, but I was like, maybe it sounds a little too much like it could be
Okay,
one.
but like so like that's like I was just trying to think of like in A New Hope, like the greedy bounty hunter is Greedo, the overweight X-wing pilot is Porkins. Like it sounds like something George Lucas would come up with. The guy with the trunk is Trunco.
My camera just got real bright over here. Tune it down a little bit. Come dial it in a little bit over here. Okay, we're good. We're good.
All right, so you are 9-2. All right, so
So hitting that 50%.
how many actors have played Anakin Skywalker slash Darth Vader in all of Star Wars canon? And I'm including physical actors, voice actors, and stunt actors. And note
All
again,
right.
this is all of Star Wars canon. Not all Star Wars
Yeah.
in general, all of Star Wars canon.
So we'll go through the ones that we know, and we'll come to the close because I obviously don't know how
Oh,
all the
well, here,
stunt
let me
actors.
read off our answers here. So we got A is 5, B is 7, C is 13, or D 16.
And this is just before I actually start counting out the characters. I'm guessing it's probably going to be around 13 to 16 when you include all that together. But so far, ones that are like main landline canon. So we have Jake Lloyd is playing Little Annie. We have Hayden Christensen who plays um, Anakin in the prequel trilogy. We have Matt Lanter who voices him in the Clone Wars. We have David Prowse who plays in the suit. We have James Earl Jones who plays the voice of him as Vader. Um, I'm going to go ahead and assume that there's at least one stunt actor for Hayden Christensen. You said that there was two for David Prowse. I know at least one of them, but let's say there's two. So that puts us at 7. Now, are you also including some of the newer stuff? Because there would probably be there may or may not be a different stunt actor for some of the stuff that happened in like Obi-Wan or whatever, or possibly like who played them in Rogue One. So that could put us up a little bit higher. But without adding any of that into it, that puts us at about 7.
Mm-hmm.
So I got all the main people. The stunt actors is where it's going to get me. Now, also trying to think of what isn't canon. I'm just going to go off of the movies, Clone Wars, and I guess whatever shows. But that's probably going to get me. So I'm probably just going to go with B7 and hope that the stunt actors don't get me with that.
That is incorrect.
Mm-hmm.
The answer is D 16.
All right, list them off. Let's see where
Right,
where am I missing it.
Okay, so I've got David Prowse, who's obviously in the suit for Vader. Bob Anderson was his stunt double. Sebastian Shaw, who was Vader
I
Unmasked.
did miss him.
James Earl Jones, who is obviously the voice, so that's 4. Hayden Christensen, Jake Lloyd, so that's 5 and 6. Now, one thing I mentioned Matt Lanter earlier. Matt Lanter was only the voice of Anakin in seasons 4, 5, 6, and 7 of the Clone Wars. There was another actor named Matt Lucas who voiced Anakin in the first 3 seasons. I honestly
I don't think I knew that
I did
was
not
different.
notice a change at all. Like watching through the show, I cannot think of a change in the voice, but there was a change in the voice actor. So there were 2 voice actors for the Clone Wars. So that brings us up to 7, 8, and then we've got Scott Lawrence, who did the voice of Vader in Fallen Order. Then we've got Spencer Wilding, who I think was I could be wrong. Now we're getting into the stunt actors, so I did not write. I
Hmm.
should have written down who they were stunt actors for. So I could be saying these wrong. So take what I'm about to say with a grain of salt. But I think that was David Prowse's other stunt double. Then we've got Daniel Prowse and Ben Cook, who were Hayden Christensen's stunt doubles in Attack of the Clones. Then Joss Gower, who was Hayden's stunt double in Revenge of the Sith. Then we've got Daniel Stevens, who was in the suit in Rogue One. And then we've got Dmitris Bistrevsky, Ukrainian name, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, and Tom O'Connell, who were stunt doubles in Kenobi. So, yeah, there's a lot of people who've. And again, if we include.
When you add that many up, yeah.
And again, if we include, like, everything that's not canon, it balloons up the number.
Yeah,
Like
I figured it would be. I figured it would be one of the bigger numbers, but since I couldn't put that many names, I didn't want to fudge that many stunt actors either. So I was like, yeah, I'll just stick with this. But that wasn't something I was ever going to get.
Yeah. So that puts you at 9 and 3, right?
Yeah, I think so. I'm about to be 9 and 4 because I don't, unless I get a really good educated guess, I don't know this one.
Okay, so yeah, 13. What lightsaber form does Luke Skywalker use? Again, another deep cut. Is it A?
Actually, I might know.
Is it?
I have an educated guess.
Okay. Well, is it A, Form 3, Sorsu, B, Form 4, Ataru, C, Form 5, Diemso, or wait, I say C or D for that one. Anyway, or D, Form 7, Vapad.
Like I said, I don't specifically know this or remember this. I do know disclaimers because I want to anyone who's playing along, I want them to be able to play along. Cut away, pause, whatever, if you don't want to hear the answers because I'm about to spoil some things. So, a pod is Ace Windu's style form that he made a variant of Form 7. So I know that what that is. That's not it. Sorsu is the defensive one. You can't correct or incorrect me on this because that would give the answers away. But I believe that's the defensive one. For whatever reason, I'm feeling like Form 3 doesn't sound right, but Sorsu does. So Sorsu is the one that Obi-Wan practices, but that's not what Luke does. So it comes down to the Ataru and Dimso, but I seem to remember that Luke practices Form 5, and I believe that is what it is. Also, I think it's a more aggressive fighting style. I know that he fights very similar to Anakin, and I think that's what Anakin does. But anyways, we can go ahead and just say it's C, Form 5 Dimso, because that's my educated guess. And you can tell me I'm wrong, but that's fine.
You were actually correct with everything you just said. So yes, Form 3 Sorsu is Obi-Wan's, Vapad is Mace Windu's modified Form 7, and Diemso is Form 5, the lightsaber form that Luke Skywalker uses.
Who practices Form 4 Ataru? What's that fighting style?
I don't actually know. I can't actually think of anyone in canon because I think I could be wrong on this. I didn't actually look this up, but I could be wrong about this. But I'm pretty sure that Anakin is also Diemso.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that they both have that more aggressive fighting style.
But Form 4 Ataru, I don't actually know who if there's a canon example of someone who practices that.
Okay. Yeah, see, the thing is about the forms is that I've done enough research and heard enough about them that I know them. Like, it's like digging really deep to actually remember them.
Mm-hmm.
So
So you are 10-3 now.
hey, there we go. Let's why am I 10-3? I'm supposed to be a Star Wars fan. It's like one of those quizzes where you take it and you find out that you're not as big a Star Wars fan. So now I got to go and like just dump a bucket of Star Wars on me. It
Well,
might not be a good idea because then nothing will stick.
well, I don't know if I actually changed this on yours, but not on mine. So let me actually go to your what you're looking at to read off this next question. All right, so I changed one of the answers, and if I read off what I had there, it would have eliminated one of the answers for you. So I don't want to do that. So anyway, question 14. Where were the Hoth scenes filmed for The Empire Strikes Back? Is it A, Greenland, B, Antarctica, C, Alaska, or D, Norway?
So, um, fun fact for that Hoth scene, the scene where Luke comes out, I think I might have mentioned this in our retrospective for The Empire Strikes Back, but when he comes out and he's comes out of the uh, can't remember what it's called, Wampa. Wait, oh, what's the creature?
The
Why am
Wampa.
I? Why
You got
can't
it
I think
right.
of what it's
Wampa.
called?
You got it right.
Wampa. Okay. When he comes out of the Wampa cave and he stumbles through the snow and then he sees a vision of Obi-Wan, that was filmed like just yards in front of the hotel that they were staying in. When they first got to the location, they had like a bunch of blizzards, so like they took a while for them to film. But Mark Hamill had to suffer a little bit and go out there. That being said, that does not mean that I know specifically where this is. That just means I know that little tidbit. Um, so my answer, I'm going to go ahead and answer this. So anyone trying to play along, keep that in
Well,
mind. I'm thinking it's Norway. Now, that's right. That just means that that's what I'm thinking. Obviously, it's not Antarctica, and I don't believe it's Alaska. So I'm pretty sure it's Norway, but I'm not 100% sure. So tell me what the answer is, David.
that is correct. It is Norway.
Okay.
I was about to say
I'm over 50%.
I was about to say you knowing that story about the hotel automatically eliminates Antarctica because, well, for one thing, it would be very expensive for them to actually fly down a whole crew to Antarctica to film. But
And like, how would you go about filming? Like, just get
mm,
tents or something? Like, you're not going to be doing it all in one short shoot.
yeah, but also, so I mentioned I changed one of the answers. So on the original question I had, I put Russia, but then I realized I'm like, okay, that was the Soviet Union at the time. No way in heck were they letting a American film studio come in and film.
uh,
Like,
I know we're at war, but can we film this here real
exactly.
quick?
So like I'm just like, okay, I'm because I put Russia because like Siberia is like called like that's very
Mhm.
very similar to Norway. But then I'm like, no, wait, that's an obvious dead giveaway there. So because, like I said,
Yeah.
no way an American film studio was gonna be able to film in Russia, um, yeah, at the time, maybe even not now. I don't know, but that's a story for another time. Anyway, question 15: Who is the actor who has appeared in the most Star Wars films? Is it A, James Earl Jones, B, Hayden Christensen, C, Anthony Daniels, or D, Kenny Baker?
All right, so going through this list, James Earl Jones, the voice of Darth Vader, Hayden Christensen, Anakin Skywalker. You said Anthony Daniels was the stunt double for Prowse, right?
No.
What's okay? Well, then I guess if I got that wrong, then I know the name. I just don't. Anyways, and then wait, Baker. Okay, I know the name. I'm just trying to remember who plays C-3PO. That's R2D2, I believe. That's my answer because I know it's one of the two droids. I just can't remember which droid it is. Um, they've obviously been in. Well, they maybe haven't. So I don't know if they're still active. I think I'm pretty sure Kenny Baker has passed away. I think I know. I'm pretty sure the person who played R2D2 has passed away. I'm not entirely sure about that. But anyways, I don't know how long after they've kept playing the role after doing everything. But anyways, that's my answer. We can hash out the actual details once you tell me if
So
I'm
wait,
right or wrong.
who'd you say your answer was?
D. Kenny Baker.
That is incorrect. It is C.
Okay.
Anthony Daniels, who plays C-3PO.
Plays. Okay, so
Kenny Baker did
Kenny
play.
Baker is
He
R2D2,
is
but he's
R2D2.
passed away.
He's
That's
passed
why.
away. Anthony
Okay.
Daniels has played C-3PO in all 9 of the mainline Star Wars films.
Okay.
So he has the most he's been in the most Star Wars films. See, I thought I might get you with like well Hayden's only been in 3. But James Earl Jones has been in like he was in obviously the original trilogy. He was in Revenge of the Sith. He was in Rogue One, or his voice.
No,
But
comes down to me not remembering actors' names.
yeah, but
this is my excuse. Okay, this is my excuse. It's getting late. I've had a long day, and my eyes are starting to get a little droopy. So I might just be getting tired. But you know what? I'm over 50%. That's all I wanted. That's all I wanted was 50%. So I can get the rest of these.
So
I will get the next 2 wrong. I know that.
Yeah, so you're 11-4. Now the next 2, again, even a die-hard Star Wars fan shouldn't know this. This is like deep cut. So that's just a disclaimer for the next 2. So, number 16, approximately how many Star Destroyers did the Galactic Empire have at its height? Is it A, approximately 15,000, B, approximately 25,000, C, approximately 50,000, or D, approximately 100,000?
I'm gonna go ahead and spoil this. So, like we were saying, the next 2 are huge. Really, really, like you got to be so deep into this that you don't have a life, or just happen to stumble across it. One of the 2. The next question is Super Star Destroyers.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm trying to think of what what's the difference. Which is not coming to mind. So I'm gonna do eeny meeny miny mo. I'm gonna go on the medium side of things. I know that they had a lot, but I don't think it's like 100,000 or 50,000. So I'm gonna go with 25,000 as my estimate. So B is gonna be my answer because I don't know. That's just my guess.
Is that your final answer?
Yeah, that's gonna be my final answer.
You stumbled into success because that is correct.
Well, my thought process was I know that they had a lot, so I was like, but 15 seems like too small,
Okay.
and 50 and 1,000 just seemed like too many. So
Okay,
yeah, stumbling to success is my model.
that's
Motto.
Like when you look at this, like you kind of think like 25,000 is not really a lot, but yeah, it's a lot. That is a lot of Star Destroyers.
Mm.
And think about how many like stormtroopers were on each Star Destroyer. Like
The Empire was massive.
Yeah, the Empire was pretty big. But yeah,
which I didn't mention this in the past part, but I do want to mention this here. So at the end of Return of the Jedi, the whole entire galaxy is celebrating the defeat of the Empire, right? I don't think that just blowing up the Death Star or even killing the Emperor and Vader would have had that quick of a repercussion.
Well, okay, and we see in like the Mandalorian and stuff that there's like a bunch of Imperial remnants. The Empire's not gone; they're just
like it's a happy ending. It's a happy ending, but like I don't think that would have traveled that fast.
And again, we also see like the New Republic is mostly it's just the Imperial government. They just under new management.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
all the politicians stay the same.
Yeah. So
all right, let's get on to the next one so that I can lose.
So you're 12-4 now. So 17. How many Super Star Destroyers did the Empire have at its height? Is it A 7, B 13, C 21, or D 57? Now, Super Star Destroyers are the bigger ones. Like you remember Vader's flagship from Empire.
I got that much of it. I'm just trying to think of actual ship designs, but it doesn't really matter. Um, so because I guessed 25 on the last one, I'm gonna stick in the 20s just because, and I'm gonna say 21. I feel like that's pretty low, but uh, I don't care. That's my answer. 21. C.
Yeah, I think you already guessed that's incorrect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was 13.
Oh, wouldn't have guessed it would have been lower.
Yeah, they only had the Empire only had 13 superstar destroyers at its height.
Hmm. Anyways, all right. 12 and 5.
Mm-hmm. 12 and 5. All right. Question 18. Again, back to production. What was the first Star Wars film to use CGI? Was it A, A New Hope, B, Return of the Jedi, C, The Phantom Menace, or D, The Christmas Special?
We still need to find and watch that. That's on the schedule for this Christmas,
Yes.
but we got to find that and figure out how we can watch that. Um, so I'm gonna go ahead and answer this. Um, off of the knowledge that George Lucas went crazy with CGI in the prequels. What letter is it? C. The Phantom Menace is going to be my answer. We were not going to have a prolonged this because we've already been recording for a while and we got more to talk about. So I'm gonna go ahead and answer this and see if we can get out of here. All right. So C. Phantom Menace is my answer. Tell me I'm wrong.
Okay, you're wrong.
Okay, that's fair.
I was actually
What classifies as CGI?
so that's the thing here. So I will add a disclaimer here. Yes, the Phantom Menace was the first one to have CGI to that extent and to have a lot of CGI. But technically the first CGI, and I read somewhere that it was the first CGI in any movie. I didn't have time to fact check this, but I had read that somewhere. I
It makes
take
sense.
that with a grain of salt. But it was in A New Hope. The scene where they're having the briefing on the Death Star, and they have the like little
Um,
animation thing of where the Tie Fighter or not Tie Fighter, the X-wing like blowing up the Death Star. That was
mhm.
CGI. So that was the first CGI
Yeah.
in a Star Wars movie, and presumably some of the first CGI in Hollywood ever. Like I said, I don't know. I don't know if it was the first
Well,
because I read that, but I did not have time to fact check that. So take that with a grain of salt. But
being that like the reason A New Hope had to do certain things was because CGI wasn't at that point
mhm.
at available, if any. Um, I would say that it probably was the first one. That's yeah. I knew enough. Like I knew that scene was done differently. Um, I didn't necessarily know that would be considered CGI. I
Mhm.
thought it was like done with computer, like not with computers, but I thought it was done with like on a computer screen. They did it up to be on a computer, but yeah.
Mhm.
Oh well.
But
12
yeah,
and 6 or 12 and 5?
12 and
12 and
6.
6 because 18.
Yeah, 12 and 6.
Oh well.
But
I
yeah,
don't know everything about Star Wars.
I feel like that was a pretty good segment because I excuse me. Yeah, I well let's put it this way. I had like at least 3 to 4 hours of research into these questions, and over several days. So yeah,
Would have been way too impressive if I got them all wrong. So we have to fudge the numbers and make it look like I'm not as smart as I am.
well,
No, I'm kidding. I wouldn't have gotten those.
I was trying to get some easy ones, some harder ones, just because I know there's people who people listening want
Yeah.
something they can answer. Anyway,
Yeah.